Oh. Okay. What's in this? This looks like a classroom. Jariontero Markkanen. Oh my god. Well, that was stressful. Lottie, class of 73. What kind of lessons did they offer in here? I don't know, man. I can't even interact with that. For some reason, many of the windows on the topmost floor were boarded up. Probably a lack of glass, or maybe someone didn't want to be seen. Wait a minute, what? Huh. Rain coming in. Okay. Caesar Guarinoni, Daniel Schick. Struggling to get myself out of the house. It's always a goddamned ordeal to get everything ready. But I'm doing good otherwise. Not a physical ordeal, by the way, to make that clear. No, that's fair, Stockman. I understand. Believe me, I understand. I don't like going out either. Freaking hate it, honestly, but I drag my butt outside to get that mortal money to afford things, so, you know. What in the... Rigo, Matthew Lee Veneer, Cynthia Gazy. Huh. Interesting. Is this literally just kind of see backers? I think it's backers. That's my guess, at least. Wait, what? No, this door wouldn't open. It's a door? Oh, it's bricked up. I see. I get you. What's up, bitches? Hi, Jay. How you doing? A.m. We just trapped a madman in the room next door. Spent 8 hours in the asylum. Without the madman chasing me, I rated myself to explore the rest of the topmost floor. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. A scent of rare incense, or perhaps something old and arcane, almost made me stop in my tracks. Every corner of this hidden room seemed to hint at ancient secrets. What foreboding revelations were awaiting inside? Ones that I'm gonna check out later. Because first I need to try this. I think. Unmarkable box that had nothing inside. Buckets were dirty and empty. Okay. Huh. Okay, there is still a lot more to explore over there, so I'm guessing... It's... Wait, what's bricked up? Huh? Oh, there was a doorway that was bricked up, Jay. Don't worry about it. Greetings. Hello, Tails Doll Ultima Hunter. Welcome on in. Nice to have you. You've been in coma since 2020. Wake up. Wake up. My God. How you doing, huh? How's it going? Okay, let's go back in. Let's take a look at stuff. I'm gonna probably regret this, but... What the hell was this? Paintbrush possibly used to paint that large symbol. Oh, the one on the floor. This symbol. It was Bertrand's drawing. Yeah. We got some, Uh-huh. I feel like the book might be the big important thing, but... Bunch of old candles. Who could tell what they had been used for? Light, probably. What the hell? Mortis cave. A hideous sense of portentous menace could be felt. Damn it, I was too slow. Being an evil doll. Well, alright then. Cool. Can you feel the sunshine? No, I wasn't mentally prepared to delve into this sinister tome. Okay. It was an odd-looking structure, perhaps an altar of sorts, but from where? I didn't have any use for candles at the moment. It was evident why these books weren't in the library below. Their titles were arcane and disturbing. Skolix Vellum, African culture, and even stranger stuff. Occult arts. This seemed to be an obsession. The people who spent time in this office had some macabre tastes. Yeah, no kidding. Books on esoteric topics that I didn't want to peruse. Pile of jars with small stuff inside. Some things are better left alone. Fair enough. Small statue shaped like a head. It seemed like a ritualistic thing. Well, how's being an evil doll going for you, huh? Huh, Ultima? Or do you prefer to be called Hunter? Okay, let's try this way. I wondered what bizarre things had taken place inside this room. Oh, okay. Okay. A most particular design, old with a hint of malice. Fair enough. The tools were rusted and useless. Got it. Cool. Alright. Aha. I imagined or hoped the bones were from animals. They seemed like the kind of relics one would find in an archaeological excavation. A dirty and sticky old newspaper. Really? I can't... Okay. An empty drawer, thankfully without anything weird in it. Oh, more bones. What was the meaning of all those bones? Oh, okay, Jay. Let me do the stretch. I'll get a little snacky. And hydrate. Thank you, Jay. Well, I mean, there's nothing else in here. I feel like I've looked at everything. Huh. It won't tell me anything, though. Okay. Okay. Fine, you don't want to look at the book? You don't have to look at the book. Oh! We could have done this from the front. Okay, got it. Cool. What in the fuck? Okay. Okay. Record book updated. Well, what is this? Journal updated. I feel nearly drunk at the prospect of harnessing all that power. We can't stop until his mysteries have been fully unraveled. I'm ready to exhaust all my resources, sacrifice anything and anyone until our goals are met. This is greater than mankind itself, even greater than me. This is the right symbol. I know it. The next step is to translate the logograms, which won't be an easy task considering the poor state of the stone slabs. So many millennia, epochs of abandonment. But how? This finding predates any recorded history of scientific research. There's no written accounts of the servants anywhere else. I'm not even sure that's the proper translation. We are completely on our own. It's imperative that we focus on the task at hand and make no compromises if we're to succeed. We may well be the first civilized and sane human beings to ever gaze into the innards of this mountain. If what I suspect is true, what awaits inside grants the means to ultimate enlightenment, the permanence of actuality at our disposal. What charming artwork. Yeah, I know, Jay, right? Servants is far from an accurate word, but there's no better way to describe them with the meager information we found. Contrary to other ancient tribes, chief among them the so-called Dalmar, who at least had a sense of purpose in keeping a vicious god at bay, the servants sought to commune with a benign, malignant entity. I wouldn't call this a goal per se, but rather a way to exist. The servants sensed, as much as their primitive nature permitted, the formidable but alluring power of the entity. To achieve this communion, these earliest beings would make use of psychoactive substances, or entheogens, as they're referred to in recent times, to reach the state of Geneshtai, the true meaning of existence. Consider the implications of this fact. Sentient beings that existed long before any hint of our recorded history, or even any form of religion, had already embarked on the greatest quest of all, Entheos, the divine within, and it could be right here beneath us. Examples of entheogens include ayahuasca, peyote, and psilocybin. It seems, as far as I can surmise, that the servants required some sort of mind shield to face the abstruse presence of the entity. This corroborates my other findings, yet I can't synthesize the prehistoric entheogens exploited by the servants. We lack the information. However, if shielding your mind is the key, then perhaps the best word I've found to describe the entity is phalote? Granted, there's likely a better term for it, but I'm unable to make sense out of every glyph. The servants thought so little of themselves in the close presence of phalote that they failed to name their race in any way. It's the supreme surrender of will, the epitome of self-hatred and shameful obsession under the influence of a foreign power. Imagine for a moment the fate reserved for a culture of people that would surrender themselves at the behest of a preternatural being whose concerns were far detached from their own. But luckily, nothing of the sort ever happened. Whatever substances the primitive servants used, they didn't succeed in merging with this otherworldly visitor. The entire course of our history could have been so different had an inferior mind communed. And so Fallout still waits, forbearing as ever. Fallout is wise, an entity enlightened far beyond our human condition and also infinitely patient. He remains rooted within the bowels of our earth until the right vessel comes, and he is willing to wait another insurmountable passage of time until that happens, and he finally breaks free to traverse the geometry of our world. Time has no meaning to him. Of course, a lower prehistoric species couldn't have tamed this illimitable power, but I have other means. Who's in control? That's the key. We naively think that we are in command of our lives, but the fabric of modern society shapes our fate by means of overwhelming information. Our minds begin to malfunction, and thus we surrender to the unbearable noise sucking away our vitality, a dissonance perceived even on the mere page of a newspaper. Fallout also makes use of noise, but it's a different kind of disturbance. He delves deep into your mind. Something in interference, perhaps even a physical change, manifests when you face the horror. What the fuck? And yet there is a distinct possibility that we can tame this power. What? A nascent theory provides hope. The configuration of our brains is still crude. Much as I'd like to believe my genes are more sophisticated than the boorish servants, not enough time has transpired to provide our brain cells the ability to grasp the essence of reality. We're still only able to process 3 dimensions. However, Fallout operates in another geometry of existence. Its visual information is too much for our minds to absorb, yet the only way to commune with this entity is to endure his presence. It must be so old, impossible to comprehend with our earthly conception of life. Fallout must have originated from the time in which the very first stars formed. Perhaps he already existed before it all began. What the fuck? Oh boy, unknowable forces beyond our comprehension. Let's harness it. Yeah, exactly. Ambrose was right. The way to success resides in the primordial arrangements. In fact, the distant influence of celestial eyes may have an astounding implication during the encounter. This is too much to grasp, even for a learned man like me. There's a favorable configuration and greater chance to prevail if the communion takes place at a specific hour, as we perceive time, in our polyhedric coordinates. The first patterns were deemed too ineffable for the limited sensibilities of monotheistic religions, but our illiterate ancestors couldn't grasp how the primal instinct of a lowly species like the servants operated, seeking meaning in the simple organisms of the era, arachnids, coleopterans, millipedes, grubs, and yet the shapes of these suggested constellations don't directly correlate with the arthropods that inhabited our planet. They are grotesque caricatures of otherwise familiar outlines, as if some vital feature of their true physical forms couldn't be conveyed on the flat surface of these slabs. Great. Regrettably, we don't have enough time to construct an astrolab, and so we'll have to operate with the spare details we have available. I'm in shock. The symbol itself acts like a piece of the chart. When the position is correct, it provides the zenith of the equation. It's inconceivable that the servants figured this out, so the symbol must be the vestige of some elemental language. Shipadas. Designed with a baffling purpose that our spatially impaired capabilities can't hope to decipher. The only way is to realize the encounter. This vermicular shape, I've seen it before. What the fuck? Okay. Just take a look here real quick. We got most of the notes. We're only missing like 3. Oh, wait, right. I should probably do a quick little save. Right here. So what if now I check this? Okay. Okay. Time to go this way. Man, he is still freaking out. We have a couple other things to find. I was able to see the whole length of the once beautiful yard from this window. The yard looked much smaller than it really was from this height. An old stove that didn't seem to work. Stove? I think you mean radiator or heater. Aha, that must lead to the roof. There was no way I could move all this junk on my own. It was necessary to find another way. Okay. Alright. Time to try and go to the roof, I guess. Oh boy. Okay. Oh god. Let me just stretch a little more here. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Here we go. Here we go. Hey ho, here we go. Why is it foggy? I don't like that. Don't like that we have this smoke here. Thankfully, the outside world was still out there waiting for my return. Okay, so we got twin doors there. What's the other way? Or is this another situation of we can't actually go the other way? Why do you keep thinking you can go the other way? You're not allowed to do that. Idiot. I could see the opposite side of the building from here. Fair. Oh. Okay. No amount of water could save these plants. There were no traces of plants, just dried mud. So I guess this is a greenhouse on the roof. The whole situation of the greenhouse, the whole state of the greenhouse was quite sad. Wait, what? I did not realize that was a door. Mental hospital lost amid a forest with a man inside it, lost among his crippled memories. There was a poetic irony here. Imposing mountains encircled the forest surrounding the institute. Oil can. Wait, wasn't there something we needed oiled before? Oh, the mine cart. That didn't... Okay. Right, there was a mine cart before. It had been long since anyone took care of these plants. Yeah. Wood planks, they're everywhere on this floor. It's been long since anyone took care of these plants. Long since anyone took care of these plants. Nothing. It was empty. Nothing. It was empty. Premium lubricant. Okay. What? I bet that in the old days, this gorgeous greenhouse was a sight to behold. I could hear the ocean from far, whistling along with the wind. What the? Dark clouds adorn the sky, while the fierce storm presaged more nightmarish revelations. Oh boy. Okay. Going back inside. I gotta stop accidentally pressing that. There was no traces of plants, just dried mud. I wondered about the fates of the birds which lived in here. Hopefully they had flown away. A single plant. A peculiar flower. For a fleeting moment, I remembered seeing a flower like this in another greenhouse. Oh, from Scratches. Okay. It's another Scratches reference. They've been doing that a lot. Someone here really liked birds. No trace of plants, just dried mud. Whole state of the greenhouse is quite sad. Whole state of the greenhouse. Okay. Aha! Here's the thing we need, though. The valve wouldn't turn. The spigot seemed to be rusted in place. Hopefully this would do the trick. Ha ha! With the help of the oil, the valve turned smoothly. As expected, the water had stopped flowing. Oh, okay, and we don't need the valve anymore, so we're not taking it back. Got it. Okay. Door didn't even have a knob and seemed completely stuck. Alright.